Hello, my name is Chris. I'm an entrepreneurship attorney based in Boulder, Colorado, and the founder of Pixel Law. I'm also an advisor to Spellbook, and I'm making this video here to talk about Spellbook, but they're not paying me to make this video. This is just something that I'm making in my spare time. So here is a recent use case of Spellbook that I found really interesting. So somebody sent me an operating agreement for an LLC. Not this one. This is just a sample one. But the operating agreement had provisions that you would expect to have in there for adding a new owner or a new member to the LLC. And naturally, one of the first things I would do as a lawyer is dig through the agreement to figure out what has to happen, what voting has to happen, how do you admit them, and so on. But what I did quickly in that case, just to see what would happen, is I opened up Spellbook here in the corner. And you can use the assistant tab, the insights, or the benchmark tab, or whatever. But what I chose to do was just give it instructions and talk to it like I would an associate or any other AI bot that you might be talking to online. So in this case, I'd say something like, I'd like to add a new owner to this LLC. Please tell me what I need to do and all relevant provisions. Click go here, and it's just going to start working. And this is a 19-page operating agreement, but Spellbook's just going to fly right through it and tell me hopefully everything I need to know. So let's just look at it. Spellbook's great. It's usually right, but it makes mistakes from time to time, just like any other AI tool. But more often than not, it is accurate and reliable. So in this case, to add a new member to the company, you need to get an approval from a supermajority vote. That's completely true. This is an operating agreement I work in a lot, so I don't necessarily have to skim through to verify everything. It talks about section 5.3, which is where you add, or the section that talks about adding new members, talks about getting a supermajority vote. It even gives you this percentage here, which I'm pretty sure is set to 67%. Supermajority vote is 67%, so that's correct. It talks about executing an agreement. So the new member must execute an agreement. That's right. It's basically some kind of a joinder agreement in which they agree to be bound by the operating agreement. That is also right. It talks about issuing units to the new member, section 4.2, which is the section that deals with how do you actually issue units to the new member. And let's just double check that. I'm pretty sure that's right. 4.2, issuance of units. That's right. And how to go about doing that. Once approved, any manager can issue them, which is correct. Let's see here. If an issuance is approved, the manager may issue them. And this goes on to talk about the manager updating the membership list, which of course is literally the next thing that Spellbook talks about doing. And then it goes on to say a capital contribution could be made. Section 3.1D, that's above. Whether or not they're making one or not, I don't know. But interesting that it calls that out. So then it creates a checklist for how do you actually do it. It talks about proposing it at a meeting of the members, I think, and getting a supermajority vote. I mean, I would just do a written resolution, but whatever, a supermajority vote in the resolution would be good. Signing the document, issuing the documents, collecting whatever capital contributions required, and then it lists out the actual provisions here. And that's just fascinating. That took Spellbook, God, I want to say that was like 10 or 20 seconds to come up with all of this. And knowing what I know about this operating agreement, that is all correct. One of the things that I thought of the other day was like, hey, is there a right of first refusal? And does it apply? I mean, when the company's issuing units, the right of first refusal probably doesn't apply, but I needed to double check that anyway. So in this case, I just asked, is there one? And it looks like yes, there is. Talks about, okay, here it is, section 11.5 of the agreement, which I'm pretty sure is the correct section. Yes, it is. And it goes through and talks about providing notice, the amount of time the company or the other members, I forget which, has a right to buy the units, the option, how you determine the payment, as well as when is the payment to be made. Oh, it even gets into the tag-along rights and drag-along rights, which is down here. Goes through all that stuff. But the thing is, I don't even think it's necessary. I don't want to focus on just that text. Does the right of first refusal even apply when the company is just authorizing and issuing new units, because I don't necessarily think it would apply, and I'm curious if Spellbook agrees. Now I'm asking Spellbook to do some analysis, I guess. No. The right of first stop moving. The right of first refusal does not apply when the company is authorizing and issuing new shares. As detailed in 11.5, it addresses when there's a transfer between two owners, or an owner and a third party, which is totally true in this case, so that's correct. Now let's say that I want to use written resolutions to approve the transfer, or not the transfer, but the authorization and the issuance. To authorize the authorization and issuance of the new units to the new member. Let's say approve instead of authorize to avoid some duplicate words, and see what Spellbook comes up with. It's usually pretty good about drafting this kind of language for me. So in this case, resolutions of the members, date, the undersigned being all the members of the company, great. Whereas, and I see, so Spellbook has a tendency to use some legalese because it's pulling language, I think, from prior agreements, and I don't like all this now therefore stuff, but whatever, I can delete that. The company desires to authorize and issue units to blank. The members deem it's in the best interest of the company. Now, therefore, be it resolved, they're authorized to issue blank number of certain type of units to blank person's name upon their execution of an agreement. That's all correct. That's all correct. The manager is authorized to carry out the things. That's great. It talks about the signatures of the parties. Oh, these are just fake names that are, I'm not going to go down there, but at the signature block. So it pulled the members' names. And it even gave me like a joinder agreement I could use. That's pretty useful as well. So what is this? I've been talking for 7 minutes, and Spellbook has told me what I need to do. It's told me the relevant provisions to review. It's even drafted the member resolution. I'm not going to do it here, but it could probably even draft like a grant agreement for me. It's pretty remarkable. So, Spellbook's not always right. I find that it's right way more than it's wrong. And it gets better every day, and I could see a future where it's right almost all of the time. But today it's right most of the time, and it's certainly right enough and detailed enough to get me to the right sections of the agreement quickly, so that I can just do my job faster for my clients, which really benefits everybody, and it's awesome. Anyway, if you use Spellbook, drop a comment below. I want to learn and see how you use it and what you find it most useful for. If you don't use Spellbook and you have some questions, feel free to drop comments there or send me an email. My email address is chris@pixellaw.com, and I would love to explore how you use it or how you might use it. And of course, if you want to try it out yourself, just go to their website, spellbook.legal, and you can give it a try yourself. Anyway, that's all I've got today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.